What's going on, everybody? We got updates from Nvidia. Well, not directly from Nvidia, from our one of our good guys in the YouTube community, Gamers Nexus, doing some testing and kind of ruining his own personal equipment in order to get down to the bottom of the Nvidia issue. Um, what are we supposed to be mining during this bear market? Is anything even profitable at this point? And updates for my 3D mining rig, my 3D printer, guys. So let's dig into today's topics. Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what is going on? What is going on, guys? How is everyone doing this afternoon? Hope everybody's doing good. If you're still at work, awesome. Thank you for tuning in. If you're just getting home, I hope you had a wonderful day at work. I'm sure your couch is glad to see you, or your gaming chair. What up, Crypto Bedell? Dropping those FAs. And Crypto Corrag. Yo, F to the A. Yeah, you know it. You know it. What up, Sonya? Hi, I'm here and just sent you a DM in the Discord. I also sent you a DM back, bro. Right back at you. Your DM triggered me to have to DM you back. I'm just saying, it happens quite fast. Technology is amazing like that. What is going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing great. We've made it past that hump day. It is almost the end of the week. We are getting ever so closer to, at least in the United States, Thanksgiving, which is a little holiday we celebrate over here, over on this side of the pond. So we're getting ever so closer to that, and then ever so closer to the end of the year. Yes, I saw that, Sonya. I did see it, and I did message you back too. I'm saying I saw it right before I went live. I saw it. Gotcha. You picked up some 16 terabyte hard drives for Chia, $100 each, which ain't bad. No, not bad at all. Not bad. That is a good price for 16 terabyte hard drives. That is for sure. And I've heard, through this bear market, there's times where it's a little profitable, times where it's not. I personally, since I don't have any hard drive arrays or anything like that, I never dive down that rabbit hole grabbing more equipment like that. I just never participated in that market, and I don't see enough usage or enough disruption in that industry to want to support it with my capital allocation. Other people can. I'm not going to sit there and tell you don't do it. I'm just going to sit there and tell you why I won't do it. That's all I do. Is give my two satoshis on it. It just doesn't. It's not giving any other better alternative. I think it's just the same thing as what's already out there with an extra step. That's just me. Be very careful with those higher dependencies with the RAM and stuff, because they are people scamming and putting SD cards inside of 3.5 hard drives. Oh yeah. There be scamming everywhere. But if he's already picked them up, he's pretty much you be able to tell if you're picking him up in person, like fucking locally or something like that. You're gonna grab him. You're gonna grab a hard drive and be like, "Yep, That's a heavy one. Here you go. Unless that person was really smart and put lead inside of it, you know. Outside of that, yeah. But yeah, you got to be careful with it because they'll send you a hard drive case. Doesn't mean there's anything in it. And then they can get away with, oh yeah, it's got 16 terabytes, but it's actually 16 gigabytes. You know, they had it partially right. There's a lot of scams everywhere you go, though. Tis be the scamming season, right? We'll call it the FTX season, right? Too soon? Too soon? All right, so let's go ahead and dive into today's stuff, guys. I'm so happy, guys. Oh, so we'll show this one off right off the bat. So this is my Octoprint. So I got this all running on a Raspberry Pi with a Logitech 922 Pro on there for the camera. And this is the longest print that I've printed with the new head. Finally got everything to print out nicely. Bed's still a little warm. I need to let the bed cool down before I can break the piece off. So basically, it's a little toy that I made a while back with a different head. So it's basically it's a stop rocket. So I broke the other one. I shoot this across from the living room into my kitchen, and the cats go nuts, right? But I broke one of the fins off that help it in the flechette and for flight. And at the same time, I started having issues with my printer not wanting to print properly. I was starting to have it even on this piece, but it seemed to muscle through it. I was like, okay, cool. It printed well enough for everything to fit in there just good enough. And after that, it was just downhill. And now it just printed out a really nice print on there. And if it slides over the straw end here, it will, and it slides on there really nicely, then I know I have fixed it and I can start printing other pieces. Oh, it'll be so nice. And I'll be able to have my 3D print Monday. Yo, I know there's a few people that were actually kind of getting into my 3D print Monday, and then it stopped because I was having printer issues. I've only got the one, so it's a little bit of a learning curve for me at times. This time it seemed to be like partial software issue, partial slicer issue, and then just on the hardware side, I had too many hodgepodge of parts on there trying to make a direct drive unit, and it was having issues, and then there was my lead screws were having problems. So I fixed everything on there. This is the first, or my second really good print on here. It might be cool enough to actually break this off, guys. So I think I can actually leave this on like this, and you should be able to see me actually snap this off. Hold on. Yo, that worked out pretty good. You guys actually got to see me break that off. Woo-hoo. So, upon inspection, got a small retraction. I gotta get a little bit more aggressive on the retraction, but that's a lot better than before, and it was only in one spot. I got a little furry. The big test. But might have some furries down in here, or my tolerance I had an issue on this where I had to sand it down a little bit to make it smoother. I'm wondering, lube lives matter. But yeah, it feels nice in here. Yeah, I had to sand this down though, and I wonder if I'm feeling that again on here, like almost like I got to print the base back up on this. Can't knock it off, because maybe with the two different prints on here. That is wild. That it's like getting a little better. I'll have to play around with it, but that's actually pretty good for the first 1 hour real print on here. I don't know which ones the tolerances got the issue on. Oh, Cammy wants to play with it already. She's like, that's my toy. But the overall on this, the finish on it looks really nicely. I got a little bit of an inseam on here, which is to be expected. You're expected to see like in and out on this, so I'm sure one of these two. If I, oh, as I'm playing around with it, it's getting better. Like the plastic is getting a little easier to move around on it. Like you're sanding it down almost. It's like sanding down. Oh, that worked. Yeah, so it's just sanding it down a little bit, wearing it out. Where are you wearing? Oh, I see it. It's wearing right on the little lip edge right here. So the tip of this is just probably a little oblong, just a little bit. So awesome. That is the first 1 hour successful print with the nuke head on here. So I'm happy with that. So that's a milestone right there. So. So the original print on this was 2.5 hours for this. The rocket just took me about an hour. And like in all these pieces they all fit right in with each other too. Even this one I had to kind of get it to, sand it down a little bit on this lip edge right here. Like it's not perfect, but it's got a good enough of a tolerance. So I'll take that. I like it. It's my little hobby, okay? Just a little side hobby. I like printing shit up. It's kind of fun. I watched fucking Mikkel doing it. My wife's youngest kid was playing around with one. He had a big one. And then his best friends got one, and I helped his best friend get his up and running better. Because like again, I like playing with hardware, man. You let me touch it, and I'll get it working, and I'll get it working pretty decently as long as it's not totally foobarred, right? So got his 3D printer running really good, and he had like a 400 by 400 build plate. It's like, oh my god. Where mine's like 220 by 220 by 220. So that's my build plate. So yep. I'm nerding out on some 3D print hardware. I've been playing around with print in place movable items too. So I will be doing some cool shit here. Some of it will be just like toys and stuff. We're coming up to Christmas season. I can 3D print easy toys for people. Yo! I love this. This is when 3D printers come in handy. So if you want like a little movable octopus or something like that, I can do all of that. So you'll see some pretty cool stuff coming up here, because I got some younger nieces and nephews and stuff like that, and they've got kids and stuff like that too. And they'll probably get a kick out of some of this stuff. So yeah, we'll definitely be checking all that good stuff out. Talking about checking out some good stuff. If you are trying to get into some of the Intel stuff, I know my man Tech Man has got one. I've got one. A bunch of us YouTubers have these. I've got the A380. So basically, what has transpired as of recently, they have a new Intel Arc graphics driver. Yo, what up, Next Level Tech? He's like, 3D print me a heart. Oh, I can do that, man. I'll do that just for you, man. A 3D print Monday will have a heart just for you. How's that? And I'll even ship it to you. You give me an address. How's that? I got you. But it's like, oh, how sweet. Oh, too funny. That's awesome. Like I've got one of the Arc A380s. So I'm gonna be getting a test bench fired up here. I would like to see how the new drivers are working. So they've got better output. No, unfortunately it won't beat. It'll be, but I can make it red. I can make it red, or I can make it Bitcoin orange. Or I can do it in black. But I would think either red or Bitcoin orange. I can even do a heart with a Bitcoin logo in Bitcoin orange. Bro, I mean, that's like the trifecta. All right, so, but they're a Bitcoin in the shape of a heart. That would be sweet. I can try to make something like that. Let me try to design an let me try it. I have to do it in CAD. Let me see if I can what I can come up with. We'll see here. We'll see what I can do for you, my homie. All right. So, the Arc A series, we all know, has been having issues with backwards compatibility, but they have been making updates with DX11 and DX12 games. They were getting 1440p performance settings better, which, come on, that's just a small uptick from 1080p standard. We should be able to get that. Very cool. He's like, I'd love a Bitcoin symbol STL file. Do you want to just... It's like, I'll mail you beard products in return. It's like, should I buy a 4080? It's with the shenanigans that Nvidia had. I mean, for gaming wise, Nvidia still has it, but their margin of being the best top performer is getting closer to where AMD products are already hitting at. AMD products are a little bit more budget friendly. It's like, yes, AMD wants to make money, and I want them to make money. I want Nvidia to make money. But Nvidia is doing, cash grab, where AMD is going, well, we're going to make sensible amount of money. And we're not going to screw over our board partners. I agree. I mean, from a business standpoint, I like AMD's business ethics. Nvidia, I like the Nvidia performance, but again, like I said, AMD's coming right onto the coattails where unless you were doing like some high level competitive gaming, EA Sports gaming or something like that. You're an EA Sports Pro. You're going to want to squeak out even a half a frame a second faster. It doesn't matter by any means necessary. So you're going to make a decision at that point for a whole different reason than most other people. But if you go with a person who has a myself, I've got a 1440p monitor. It's 2K. If you can't provide 2K performance at any tier level, you got a bad product, in my opinion. So for that being said, does it make any sense for me with a 1440p monitor to really, do I have to have a 4080, 4090? Do I even have to have a 7800 or, the 7900? No, I have a 3080 Ti in here already. Yes, I do have an Nvidia in my rig right now. This is pre them having all the shenanigans going on now. Now the shenanigans are coming out that they're kind of getting a little money hungry. And it's hard for me to stand behind a company that I think is having faltering business ethics. So, I mean, it's like my editing PC has a 5700 XT and I want to replace it. For the editing side of it, I would not want to go into an Nvidia side. I would stick into the AMD side. AMD is going to be better with your workloads than. So I mean, myself, if I was looking for an editing rig, I'd be looking at the 6800 XT. Or get the 7900 XT or the XTX, whichever one, or wait for the 7800 XT. What up, MC? It's like Radeon 7. That's not if you can get your hands on a Radeon 7, like that, the last gen on it. Perfect, dude. You're talking HBM2 memory modules on there. You're pretty much, I would definitely agree with that one, MC. So like the Radeon 7 would it sounds like older hardware, but for editing purposes, it might perform better. But you're only going to get them on the used market. They did have HBM2 memory modules did have a small little issue with them. This is where the whole code 43 issue came in, and a lot of this is that you shut down the rig without letting the right after a workload onto it, and you didn't let the memory modules cool down before you shut the rig down. That will cause memory to break, basically. Because if you just, I'm done editing, shut the rig down, now the cooler stops. Now you're talking the HBM2 memory, still got heat in it, and it's now heat soaking the radiator in that one localized spot because there's no more airflow over it, and they die. Red Panda's had a whole bunch of them die for that exact reason. So it's a known issue with the HBM2 memory, but if you wanted to go down that route, they are a very good, editing rig card for sure, especially if you're editing through the GPU. He's like, I was asking. Nah, man, that is a good one, man. Your little question. I agree with the thought pattern behind the question. It's like, would you not want to utilize that Radeon 7? I like the question. That's kind of why I rambled out with it. What did you find here? Oh yeah. I've got that. If it's the same one that I think it is, let me look at this. Open and no, a tab. No, I didn't grab that one. I saw one. It looks like more like a honeycomb, and it's got little bees in the honeycomb. I'll print one of them up. Yeah, usually when they code 43, the HBM2 memory module died. Yeah, there's a lot of crypto related stuff on Thingiverse, 100%. 100%. Would you buy KD miners now? Let's see here. Now, the next question I would have to have, for me personally, through my at my facility, I could, right? You're looking at, for the new one that's coming out, the KA3, which this is going to be the KA3 from Bitmain. This is going to be the new Cadena fucking behemoth, 166 terahash, guys, for 3,154 watts. This is going to be the new powerhouse on Cadena. It's going to hit the profitability of all the previous hardware like none other. Oops, she forgot that I am live streaming. But you're looking at a $10,000 to $11,000 product here. It's like you're looking at being, if you were to have already had your order in, I doubt that right now. If you were to put an order in through, even if I were to put an order in through Bitmain, I ain't getting this shit right now. I'm going to be looking at, if I were to order right now, I'd be probably on batch 2. This is batch 1. It's probably already sold out to either bigger mining facilities trying to offset the GPUs that they just got rid of. Oh, I had a feeling she forgot that I was live streaming. She said she was getting off of work early because her and a friend are going to go out and have some fun. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, you like, for me at the facility, I could see doing something like this because I have industrial power, right? So I've got the 220 amp, the 220, 240 amp circuits that these are required to be running on. If you do not have that, you will not be able to run these. These will be running on 220, 240 volt only, guys. So don't think that you're going to be like, unless you've got a spot set up for this at your house already, at the house, you're not going to be very profitable, right? And right now, you would be, this is at 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So this is like your national U.S. the standard across the United States, right? So you're still profitable at almost $25 per day above the price of electric. So that's a good thing. Now let's say you are at the facility. Let's say you grab one of these things and you have me hosted at the Family Mine LLC. I know, shameless plug. But if you were to host it with us, it won't let me do 8.5 cents. So I'll put it at 9 cents per kilowatt hour. We'll apply. So now you are at $26.80 a day. Let's say I run a deal on it, and I give a month special at 8 cents. You're at $27.56 a day if you were to get your hands on batch 1 and send it to us right away. Not that I'm ready to hook anybody else up right now. I've got to get to the point where my power rates come down to where it needs to be for me to make sense. But I mean, at the facility wise, if I was getting them, sure. At home, probably not. I've got another 30 amp circuit here at the house of 220 that I'm not even utilizing right now. All I got to get is a PDU for it, and I can hook this bad monster up right to it. I got a 30 amp breaker, and that's well within tolerance of a 30 amp breaker. For $25 a day at my house, not bad. I would well, actually, I'm like 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So I would be, about 25, 28 a day if I were to get my hands on batch one. Nobody's cool enough to send me one. I didn't grab one of these. I do have a direct line with Bitmain if I want to order stuff from Bitmain. I have been ordering from Bitmain since 2018. So I'm a long-term customer of theirs. I can order whatever the hell I want from them at any time. So I mean, it's a dual-edged sword. So I mean, like, here at the house, maybe not. I don't know how loud this thing is. Some ASICs are a little louder than others, and if you let them get to about 80 degrees, and some of these Delta fans, they've got a very pronounced fan noise, and they are not friendly. Some of it I can handle. Like I can close my door and I'm fine with that. I got great ventilation in my mining room over here. I can deal with it, right? That's not my issue. It's just that during the wintertime, I usually utilize some of this heat to heat up my house. An ASIC like this, it might be a little bit on the louder side. So just kind of take that into account. If you're doing that, you can put it in your basement. If you got an unfinished basement, if these things got a little bit louder fans, it's going to ring out of your basement. You're going to hear it. It's like my What's Miner M30 plus pluses. When they get a little bit on the warmer side, those Delta fans, they've got a whistle that you can hear from about 40 feet away, clear as day. It's not horrible, but it's pronounced. So it just kind of depends on where you're mining, all that good stuff. But it looks like at 12 cents. I mean, if you had 10 grand laying around and you wanted to go out and do this, sure. If you were to order it directly from Bitmain, you'll get it a little bit cheaper, but only a little bit. You look at the prices, you're like, well, Bitmain has it for X amount cheaper. It's like, yeah, but you coming in the United States, you're still going to get hit with a import tax on it. So, yeah. There's that. And Bitmain's not going to pay for that import tax. You are. So, with that being, especially here in the United States. Outside of the United States, I don't know how your regulations are, but I mean, it's profitable enough. How long it's going to stay profitable like this, God only knows, right? If the prices keep turning down like they are, or they start holding out like they are, you're going to see a lot more people kind of jumping onto Cadena because of the fact that it's ASIC dominated. And anybody that's got power to be able to, deploy a small fleet of these is going to. And that's, if they deploy a small fleet, they're going to raise, you're talking if each mining facility bought 2 pallets worth, this coin is going to get, profitability wise, is going to get, wrecked within 5 to 8 batches. It's kind of how it happened whenever I got my E3s. Fucking Ethereum and Ethereum Classics fucking hash rate just started jacking up right through the roof. So, I mean, it's a dual-edged sword with whenever you're dealing with non-Bitcoin ASICs. One, you got to hope that The project's gonna stick around. Seeing that Bitmain it took the time to invest to make the ASICs, does that give you a little bit more hope when it comes down to buying one? Hard to say. If you were to get, let's say, one of the smaller ones, right? Oh, come on, back up all the way. All right, back like this. Yeah. All right, Cadena. So, if you were going to deal with any of the other Cadenas, Cadena miners, absolutely no. All of these Cadena miners are not profitable. You know, so I mean, all the gold shells have been made obsolete with Bitmain. Obsolete. Look at the difference. 2.6 terahash on the KD Pro, which is the most profitable out of them all. And then you have Bitmain at 166 terahash. When these come out, all the other ones are basically useless. They're going to be glorified doorstops. I'm just saying. So kind of keep, it's like when you're dealing with the ASICs in the altcoin market, this is what happens. As soon as it becomes profitable, you'll see a bigger player, aka Bitmain, will come in and be like, oh, it's profitable. Oh, people will buy the ASICs and we can make money on it. Okay. Can we make money on it for a couple of batches? Okay, so now it's just a matter of putting the engineering time into it. Research and development, boom, you got a little working prototype, boom, you got it all made. Bitmain has a process behind this. They are very efficient on how they roll ASICs out. And unless Gold Shell has one that they're in the middle of making that's 170, 200 terahash for, let's say, 3,500 watts. 200 terahash at 3,500 watts. Okay, now Gold Shell just swung back. This is good for the market. Bad for the difficulty, though, because now you got a hash war going on between two different competing companies. And this is when you watch the profitability overall drop, and then there's no more interest in it. I mean, it seemed like Gold Shell was doing it more the right way. They were bringing on hash rate very slowly. I mean, yes, they did have a few bigger hitters, but they used a lot of wattage. We'll just put it that way. Nice, Tiger. Nice. Yeah. I mean, it helps. I mean, whenever you've got lower power rates, the lower your power rate, the better off you are. I mean, a lot of these are just on the outskirts of most people's power, So we were to go to 8 cents a kilowatt hour. Now we're talking, the KD6 and the KD Max are pretty profitable. Not by much comparison to the Bitmain. You're only talking about $1, $2 a day versus Bitmain's KA3 that'll be coming out here will be at $27.52 a day. So as soon as these really start rolling out, you're gonna watch all these other ones just go to shit. Can I recommend you getting involved into Cadena with cheaper hardware? That's up to you, man. I personally won't be doing it. I mean, I don't recommend other people to be doing this, especially with Bitmain's coming out. I see it just muscling out everybody else. Yeah, mining, and while you have a small disability, has some perks here and there for sure. And we have a if you guys haven't paid attention there, and I've made hints on this a while back. I mean, a while back, that there's a Chinese GPU manufacturer that's out there too, guys, and it is the MTTS80. It has been tested. This is the same company that does make computer equipment for the Chinese government. This is their non-government side of the company. So the company is basically split into two. They've got the government side, and then they got the public side. So the public side also does do enterprise grade server equipment. So the MTTS80 is more like a server equipment. It definitely got all that server equipment feel with the plug, a single 8-pin plug at the very end that is very reminiscent of a server at that point. Very simple on the PCB layout. Interesting how they've got the memory in a little arch. It makes me wonder if they were... Okay, so if you guys don't realize how memory works, your memory, all the memory are only as fast as the slowest memory module. So if there's one memory module a little further away from the core for communication wise, that one's going to be your slower memory module, and everything else has to auto-tune to that one so that it doesn't become destabilized within its own memory logic cores, right? So I wonder if them putting this into a slight little arch is so that they are making sure that the runs are about as close as they can be, so that they're not having pathway bog downs. I kind of like this. It's almost like running equal length headers on a dragster, right? I'm just saying, is this the same thing? Interesting layout of how they did the power management on there. They have all the power management coming in from above, trickling down into it. Strange little layout with the capacitors here supplying the power. But this has got the performance of like a 1060, I think it was, or a 3060. Let me see here. I think they said it somewhere in this article that what it was actually comparing with. A 3060. Okay, so this has got the comparison of a 3060 performance on there. So their project name is More Threads. Yo. So MTT, coming out with this one, not bad. Clean look on there. I would love to see this come out of China and into the international market if it's a decent enough of a GPU. They are getting outputs. I wish it would show me the I/O ports on here. That much it did not say to me. It doesn't say on here that I saw. But the embargo just lifted on this. People are going to be able to officially buy this. So there might be some testing. I don't know if anybody here in the United States is going to grab one of these. I'm guaranteeing you that you will not see these in the mining software or anything like that. You've never seen this company get benchmarked for mining. I'm just saying that right now. I'm not sure if they've got this hardware embedded to where it ET phones home at all. So buyer beware if you were anywhere outside of China. This might have might have tracking software that will track what you are watching. So it's Chinese stuff. So I mean, sometimes I put tinfoil hat on, going, okay, could they make something that ET phones home while you're watching something? Maybe. No idea. It's like, Nemesis, you can take your snow back. I don't need it. Send it my way. I need it for my snowmobiling, damn it. You guys better not be hogging all the snow. I'm just saying, guys. Stop hogging the snow. But this, I mean, for a a GPU manufacturer that's really kind of exclusive for China, decent little, looks decent on paper. Let's see here. That's just the games that I was playing on here. But yeah, interesting stuff. So we might have a fourth player coming into the market, and this is one of them that I've kept an eye on this company off and on for like the last 3 years. About 3 years ago, they made an announcement that they were planning on bringing a GPU to market, and it was really kind of obscure looking. Like they sat there and took the VGA core. They had it like at a 45-degree angle. I mean, it was just really strange GPU setup. It seemed to have gotten launched, but then it didn't take too well. They probably had massive issues with it. Pulled back the product a little bit before really going public on there. And I'm sure some investors tossed some serious cash at it going, you need to break into this market and you need to break into it now. We know that China likes to compete with the world, which is fine. I love it when companies compete. So this might be a good thing, especially if, their real big debut is now essentially one generation behind Nvidia. All right. Hit me with it. It's like I'd love to sit there and see it and actually test and pull one of these bad boys apart. It's like if anybody that's cool in China can get their hands on this and just ship me one, dude, I'll give it back to you. I just want to be able to pull it apart, test it. I already know that's not going to happen, but wishful thinking. And then of course AMD stuff. A 7000 non-X series to be launched next year. Hardware leaker ChillDog claims to know the specs of the 3 Ryzen 7000 CPUs that have not yet been released. This has actually been an update to our 7000 non-X series coverage, which they've been reporting on for like the last month or so. And it would go right along with some of the SKU numbers that they've, that's been out there. Again, before they can sit there and launch a product, they've got to basically patent the SKU number with the is it the ECC or the EEC or something like that? It's like the Electronics Commission or something like that, where they actually like officially register product SKUs so that they can have it in their product Substack. Before actually going out with it. So the AMD Ryzen 7000 Zen 4, aka Raphael series. So the non-X series will have a 12 core 24 thread, 5.4 gigahertz, 65 watt total board power on there. L2 plus L3 cache on there. It'll have a 76 megabyte 12 by 64 L2 L3 cache on there. You're gonna be looking at right around that $500 marker. The 7700 8 core 16 thread, 7600 6 core 12 thread, all going to be in that 65 watt range here. Now, who in the world is that? Like, you can try that. It's like snowing pretty good over here now. Damn. It's getting snow time. Uh-uh. The walking path that I do in the morning, guys, has all the snowmobile signs up. Yo. So yeah, so we got the these three new chips that are gonna looks like it's gonna be getting launched here soon. The X series is gonna be your performance series. Your non-X series is gonna be your a little bit more of your budget friendly. That's gonna be the difference on there, of course, right? And then you've got your top tier 7900 and 7950. And you know that they've always done those nomenclature. They've done that nomenclature for a while now. 7900, and then the 50s, like the binned editions of the 7900. They are the 7900. There's no difference between them. But it's nice to see that they are going to be coming out with a more of a budget friendly. It's nice for us that Intel and AMD are trading blows like this, because it makes them push the boundaries for the technology that they're doing. So pushing that core limit, pushing the frequency limit with the least amount of power being utilized at pricings that are more down to earth. We need somebody to start trading blows with Nvidia on the same thing, guys. Talking about Nvidia again, comes to today's title. It's kind of been, it looks like it's been semi figured out. So it looks like it is in with how hard it is to connect the connector. Now, all the connectors have had the issues now. There isn't one brand that's quote unquote better than the other. Gamers Nexus, with his team, they did extensive testing on this. They found that if the plug isn't plugged in all the way, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's plugged in all the way, even if you bottom the connector out, because the pin depth might not be right. They're trying to, if there's any debris down in the bottom, you won't be able to bottom the connector out. It's like some of the pin structures, it's not grabbing the pin, and it seemed like it's more or less, it's not being seated all the way, and then being bent over just slightly. And Gamers Nexus had it where the pin connector, you can just watch it just bubble the plastic. Did it start a fire? No. Did it melt and fuck up the plastic? Oh, hell yeah. It did a nice gnarly job to it. Did it necessarily damage the card? More than likely not. It more or less it damaged the connector on both the GPU and on the cable, its extension itself. So if you guys do grab one of these connectors, make sure they're bottomed out in there. Make sure the pins are making good contact. Make sure it can't just wiggle back out. There have been times where people thought they had it seated all the way, but the clip didn't clip up onto it. They were actually able to back that out. This could be part of the issue also. Over time, that it just kind of wiggles its way out, because as much as you thought it was clipped in, it wasn't. So try to, make sure, guys, if you're grabbing any of these Nvidias with the AZ connectors, it even made me go back and check my Founders Editions that I have, make sure that they were plugged in all the way, because I was like, oh god, this is like Gen 1 on those connectors. Gen 1 was it didn't really have the issue being known for it. I've heard of people here and there having an issue with the first gen stuff, having an issue every once in a while, but that was less common. With these bad boys, with the bigger, higher wattage pull through them, yeah, they're having a much bigger issue on fail rate. And a lot of it just is due to it's not getting seated in all the way. And yes, I will back Nvidia up on this one, going, people need to make sure that their stuff's plugged in. But if you are seeing a consistent issue where people are consistently having this problem time and time and time again, then that now becomes a design flaw issue that if it's hard for most consumers and most builders to be able to tell if that connector even made a good connection, even if they sit there and they go, oh, yep, there's no more gap in there. They need to, I think they need to go back to the drawing board and kind of make a tweak in the connector, make it more secured on the locking side of it. This might trigger a full recall on them. This potentially has that. If you have an issue with the connector, or what, it's like I hope they figure out a better solution, and then just issue a blanket recall. Just desolder the connector, solder new connectors on, ship them back to the people. Yes, it's going to cost Nvidia a couple of bucks, but they're already overcharging you. They could fucking fit the bill for it. They want to be little greedy bastards. They need to fix their shit. They can't just be like, oh, this is your problem, and take the Apple stance on that. I fucking hate Apple for them taking that stance too. It's not our product's problem. It's the user. It's like, fuck you. If you have 40% failure rate and you're blaming the user, is it a 40% user failure rate, or is it a 40% issue with the product that you're making? Can you make that product just as good and more consumer friendly on the usage? I know. It's hard for these bigger corporations to think past their pocketbook, though. We all know that. It's all in the name of dollars. But it's like, at least Nvidia is doing an investigation on. I will admit that they are doing certain things correctly, but they're still little greedy bastards. Talk about being little greedy bastards. We can move on to their next thing, which is boom. We have the RTX 4060 rumor coming out, guys. It's going to be featured on the 8106 GPU, which is the reduced core count. Nvidia wants to launch a TI variant later. Of course, we all saw that coming. There will be TI variants of everything. So whatever, I don't care. It's like, we all know your product Substack. When are you releasing it? Stop fucking playing games like you're not going to call it a 60 class GPU and you're not going to have a TI. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, it's about as predictable as can be. Pricing wise on there, take it for a grain of salt for what it is. Probably be about 20 to 40% higher than where the 3060 was. So in that little range there on just the 30s, just going into the 4060 series, right? You're going to be looking at a 20 to a 40% hike. Watch. And they're going to be like, oh, no, it's like, it's just them being greedy little bastards. We all know it. They will be trying to add in. Oh, my computer just acted all like really goofy there for a second. Wow. I get refreshed my screen. That was weird. Right when Nefarious texted me. But yeah, I mean, I would, there, some of them are saying it's going to be a 10%. I'm going to say, with the way that they are, I'm going to say minimum of a 20% price hike from where the 3060 is right now. Snapshot that shit. So it will be like $600 to $700 when it's released, and they're looking at potentially being next year. It's like, and if there's any kind of a mining boom right before that, oh my god, that'll just fuck it all up even worse. Well, we all know that. They won't be able to help themselves. They'll be like, oh my god, I gotta charge more. So, thank you everybody for being here as always, and we'll be getting back to some of the 3D printing that I was getting down on. Now that I've got a good enough of a printer that is now printing properly like it's supposed to be, yay! And all that good stuff. All I can sit there and say, for a lot of people who are, still mining, and they're, we're all mining at a loss. We all are doing it. But if we all sat there and stopped mining, everybody stop mining, it will really shrink the market and leave a lot of these protocols pretty vulnerable to being heavily manipulated by bigger farms. So as much as it sucks for us, we are providing value to the network. It's just too bad that the value in the network isn't being kind to us for our capital going into this. So, I mean, everybody's going to have to make their decisions on their own of if they are going to be shutting their rigs down. I can't tell you to stay mining, dude. I really can't. If nobody's making money. Unless you got industrial rates, or you've got special circumstances that allow you to have a more favorable electric rate. Yeah, well, we're all mining at a loss. My rigs here at the house are 12 cents a kilowatt hour. My rigs at the fucking facility, that's like 9, almost 10 cents a kilowatt hour. So I'm a little bit better off at the facility, but not by much. Once the load average goes up, my pricing gets a whole lot better, and then I'm going to be like looking at my other rigs here going, should I ship them? But yeah, I mean, there's going to be some good hardware coming out here. Can I tell you to go get an Nvidia card? No, I really can't go jumping down that rabbit hole and telling people, hey, you should go get Nvidia GPUs, load up on these now, get them while the getting's good. Yeah, your DLSS 3 is going to be a little bit better. It's going to give you a little bit better performance on there. But it's not leaps and bounds over to AMD at this point. AMD is now on their coattails. So I'll continue to mine through all the bearish markets throughout all the crypto windows. Yeah, nice. So, well, you guys got any comments or questions before I hop up out of here, guys? Anything at all? Big storm. I'm like looking at the radar right now, man. I mean, I only poked my head out there for a little bit. It'll be like spotted flurries. I think we're past the bulk of it. Yeah. We probably got another hour's worth of snow, if that. Maybe 2. No, it's like about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe total of more snow coming towards us. That's not going to be a whole lot. Because the next little puff of cloud that'll come by will be a lot less intense. Not enough to go fire up the snowmobiles on yet. I can't go out on the trails unless there's at least 4 inches out. All right. Well, since nobody has any other comments or questions, thank you everybody for being here. Definitely smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. all that good stuff. Share this out on your favorite social media. Help me grow my channel to more of you awesome people. Guys, drop FA in the Chizity chat. Drop that shit, guys. Yo, because you guys are rated F for fucking awesome. Yo. And if you guys would like to, and you're new here, join the community. Links down below. Discord, it's free to join. If you'd like to be a part of the backside of everything, join the Patreon. Especially if you want to have your rigs hosted at the facility, you want to get into the pseudo hasher tier. Be there or be square. There's some perks in there that makes the pseudo hasher tier completely worth it. The perk will be ending once we open up the facility doors to the public officially. So get your VIP access to the facility, guys. I am telling you, you'll want to be there. I will have a good snow day, and I will definitely stay savage. For sure. And with that being said, guys, peace out, and of course, stay savage. Yo, I'll see you on the next one.